Okay, so I am going to tell you about my action research proposal and then go into my grant proposal. The title of my action research was Optimal Time Balance for Twice Exceptional Students Needing Interventions. And basically, what my action research was about were students who are considered twice exceptional, meaning that they are intellectually gifted, but they also have deficiencies in one area or more academically in which they need specific interventions for those areas. And so the problem that a lot of research is showing is that these students who are twice exceptional are having problems with finding the time to where they can balance going to these interventions as well as attending gifted and talented classes. So, finding an optimal balance for them to where they're getting everything that they need. They need the challenges of the gifted classes, but they also need those interventions where they are struggling so that they do not get further behind or wind up, being pulled from talented and gifted classes because of the deficiencies that they have as well. So that was basically what my action research proposal was about. And I found a lot of research, a lot of information that I really felt like was meaningful and helpful. If I were to continue to actually do this action research and needed to apply for a grant for my classroom, the grant that I found was the Jacob K. Javits Gifted and Talented Students Education Program Grant. It is funded through the U.S. Department of Education. The purpose of the Javits Grant is to carry out coordinated programs of evidence-based research, demonstration projects, innovative strategies, and activities designed to build and enhance the ability of elementary schools and secondary schools nationwide to really meet the needs of intellectually gifted students and students who, have special education needs or who have deficiencies in certain areas. So that was something that I felt like really, kind of went with what we were doing. If I were actually conducting research, this one is looking for evidence-based research, innovative strategies, and activities. And so that is what, I would have used this for. Forms required by the funder. There was a checklist of documentation that had to be completed. Application for federal assistance. This is Form SF-424. The ED Supplemental Information Form, SF-424 TOCA. The ED budget information, non-construction program. So basically this is that you're not trying to construct like a new, building or something that would be being used regularly. So this is just for doing a budget information form, basically for something that can be conducted in the classroom, like one of those innovative strategies or activities that would help. The ED abstract form, project narrative attachment form, the budget narrative, and other attachment forms. This could be individual resumes for project directors and key personnel. I selected this grant because I really felt like it was focused on providing funding to research just like mine that I would, if I were to continue to do the action research. I like that it was specifically focused on twice exceptional students. When I really got to looking for this, I wasn't sure that there would be a lot of, grants that were specific towards students who were twice exceptional. So I was really glad that I did find this one. I did have to search a little bit, but I felt like in the end it was one that really, went with what I was looking for. My AR project addresses the mission of this grant by seeking to reduce the academic gaps in achievement among students who are gifted, but also students who have deficiencies in one or more academic area. I believe that through my action research and through this grant proposal, I've justified the need for this grant to assist in the research because the grant's mission basically is to carry out coordinated programs with evidence-based research, which is what I would be doing, using innovative strategies, which is exactly what they do in a response to intervention program, and as well as activities that can also help that or provide enrichment and things to go along with that. So I really felt like these things went well together. I also feel like, they are really focusing on students who are twice exceptional. And so I felt like that was important for applying with my grant. I would have been requesting $250 for the implementation of my research. The thing with this is that in the actual grant, like they afford a lot of money to each person who applies or is accepted for the grant, awarded the grant. And so I felt like my budget was very, under what they would, traditionally go for. But I did feel like, I at least kind of explained what I would use that for. So now I'm going to share my screen and just show you what I would be doing. So basically I would be going for, copy paper, 2 units of this, give the price for that. And I would be using this throughout the entire research project. This is used basically to create consumable resources for the student to use during intervention times. It's also used to provide students with scratch paper to show the work in which they are completing. Any kind of copies that would need to be made, any kind of interviews that would need to be conducted, anything like that would be used for, this copy paper would be used for that. Pencils, this would be for those students to use 2 packages of those, and for the entirety of the research as well. Students and teachers would use these for interventions and data collection. The response to intervention resources. I can give just one example of this. All of the things would be, basically the same as this, or, activities, innovative strategies, things like that, that would, help the students. An example of this would be having students use 1 cubes and 10 blocks to determine which number of the 2 is larger. For example, if we gave them the number 23 and the number 36, the students would take the tens blocks and they would put 2 for the 26 and 3 for the, for the 23 and 3 for the 36. And they would take their 1's cubes and they would put 3 for the 23 and 6 for the 36. Looking at those manipulatives, they would be able to tell which of the numbers is bigger. First of all, they would look at the tens place and they would say, hey, there are more tens blocks in the 36 than there are in the 23. So they could automatically, just by looking at those tens place, this would help also with place value. It would help them with being able to distinguish a greater number between 2. We would be doing resources each week. I will use these resources each week as I implement intervention activities and strategies to shrink student deficiencies. An intervention specialist, this is somebody who has specialized in intervention in one way or another, whether it's through dyslexia for reading programs, or teachers or interventionists who have background in dysgraphia or anything like that that could be used for math. And so basically I would just want to talk to them before I began research and after I collected all the data and had finished the interventions. That way I could kind of feel like they could give me some more information, give me things that maybe I hadn't realized or hadn't thought about from the research and data that was collected. I believe having someone who focuses on discipline-specific interventions to come in and help me decide on which interventions will be best used to assist the students. This would provide me with the most beneficial interventions needed for the student. And for a grand total of $250 is what I would need. So basically that is my grant proposal. I actually really enjoyed this project, and I kind of did a little bit of the action research myself because I do have a student who is twice exceptional in my class, and which was one of the main things that caused me to want to kind of look into this. So I definitely feel like this is a worthwhile project and something that I think could benefit our students greatly if we continued it. So thank you.